Hey, Mark here. Today we're diving into the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, and exploring how it enhances Claude's interactions with external data sources. Now, there's no better explanation for the Model Context Protocol than on the Anthropic website and the blog in which they announced the open sourcing of the Model Context Protocol. So I'm just going to read this out loud because it actually describes very well what's now possible with MCP. It says, today, we're open sourcing the Model Context Protocol, MCP, a new standard for connecting AI assistants to the systems where data lives, including content repositories, business tools, and development environments. Its aim is to help frontier models produce better, more relevant responses. As AI assistants gain mainstream adoption, the industry has invested heavily in model capabilities, achieving rapid advances in reasoning and quality. Yet, even the most sophisticated models are constrained by their isolation from data, trapped behind information silos and legacy systems. Every new data source requires its own custom implementation, making truly connected systems difficult to scale. So this is the really important point here. This is when we're working with our large language models at the moment, we have to feed it the data that we want it to have and use when we're working with it. Now, this opens things up for us here. So just going to do this last paragraph here. So MCP addresses this challenge. It provides an universal open standard for connecting AI systems with data sources, replacing fragmented integrations with a single protocol. The result is a simpler, more reliable way to give AI systems access to the data they need. So I think probably the best diagram which helps explain this is this one. So it's on the modelcontextprotocol.io/quickstart, and this is how you can imagine it at a high level. So this is your computer here, and this is your host. So you've got Claude, which is what we'll be looking at today, IDE, tools. So you've got a number of different hosts that you could have. And through the MCP protocol, they connect to a server. So normally you think of a server as being an external, something that's external to your computer, but it doesn't have to be. You can have your own servers running on your own machine. So it talks about server A and server B, which are actually just running on your local machine here. And it gives you access to your local resources. And that could be your file system, for example, and we'll go into the different resources that have already been created. There's some example MCP servers that we're going to be looking at today. And then you can also go to remote resources as well, so off your computer and into the internet. So this is the MCP server that's running on your machine, but through web APIs you can go and connect to a remote data source as well. So here's some that have already been created, which demonstrate some of the capabilities. So Brave Search, this is a big one. So for a little while now, OpenAI and ChatGPT have had access to the web, enabled to give you the best results. Claude hasn't had that. Well, now this Brave Search functionality actually enables that for you and allows Claude to search the web when giving its answers. It's got things like the file system, so you can go and use Claude and AI and LLMs to do things for you on your local machine within the file system, and that's one that we'll take a look at today. So I've always got a messy desktop. Anybody has a Mac will always find they have a messy desktop, because by default when you take a screenshot it just gets saved automatically to the desktop, and I end up with loads of stuff on my desktop, and I have got loads of stuff right now. Actually, it's a bit better than it usually is, but there's still plenty there that we need to get rid of. So what we'll do is we'll use Claude to help tidy up my desktop. Also, we're going to take a look at Brave Search and how that can integrate, because I mean that's a no-brainer to have that integrated within your Claude application. So it's got things like GitHub. GitHub are for managing your code repositories. So you can now get not only Claude to write the code, but also submit that code to GitHub, so that it can be stored, safely and in the Git repository, basically. So you can access Google Drive, Google Maps, memory. So we've got extended memory capabilities using something like this. So obviously we know that the context window is already so large for these LLMs, so you can use this MCP to extend that available memory. You've got access to things like Slack, so you can do channel management and messaging directly from within Claude, and just talk in natural language to Claude and ask it to do certain things within Slack. And then there's a couple of other official integrations here. So we've got Cloudflare as an example, but also down here there's some community servers, so people are already contributing some different servers. So a fun one is Spotify. So this MCP allows you allows an LLM to play and use Spotify. So you can ask it to play certain kinds of music and come up with its own playlists and things like that. However, whatever you want to do, really, whatever you can imagine. So that's what we're going to do today. The instructions are not great, especially for each of these individual servers. I've messed about with a few of them, and some of them it's taken a while to like get them to work because the instructions just aren't there. And to be honest, this is not the end goal. For people to be able to like have to set up and manage their own configuration files and copy and paste code in different places to get this stuff to work. Obviously, this is just early stages, but I can show. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to get a few of these set up step by step. So forget the instructions that come with it. We'll go through it step by step and get things working for you. So this is how my desktop looks right now. I have a huge 5K monitor, so I have plenty of space to put stuff on the desktop, which I have. So we're just going to use Claude and this MCP, the file system MCP, to tidy up the desktop and just move the few different files and everything into different folders. So I mean, I've already got quite a few folders on here I could probably get rid of, but we're just going to tidy up all of these loose files into individual folders. So first things first, we're going to need to download Claude for desktop. You can't run the MCPs through the browser, so you need the desktop app. So just go to claude.ai/download and you can download Claude desktop for your operating system here. And then once we've done that, we need to go and add a file on our file system. So this is not as obvious as it might seem. So the file we have to add, actually let me go into the file system one here, because that's the one we're going to be using. If I scroll down here, you've got to create this file, Claude desktop config.json, and the place that you need to put it is not entirely obvious, and I'll show you why. So the place you need to create this JSON file is in a very specific space, and they describe it on a Mac at least into library and then application support, and then here there should be a Claude folder, except what you'll see is that there isn't one, and I've seen lots and lots of people complaining about the file doesn't exist, the folder doesn't exist, and I went through the same situation, and so I just ended up creating a folder in here which is called Claude, and then putting this JSON file in there, and that didn't work, and I couldn't work out why. And it took me a little while to work that out, but actually what you need to do is you need to go into users here, and then I've got users Mark Mars, and then in here you'll find the library folder. But will you? No, you won't, because you can't see it. And the reason you can't see it is because by default on Mac it's a hidden file. So I'm just going to jump over to here because this is a shortcut to Mark Mars here. So again, I can't see the library folder in there, but it's hidden. So on a Mac you can do Shift Command full stop, and then you can find the library folder. It's actually a hidden folder there. You can see it's grayed out. So now if I go into here and then go into application support, I can then see the Claude folder. So the difference is that this is for the entire machine, it's library application support, and this is for the specific user. So we need to get into the specific user, library, application support, then we can see the Claude folder, and then we can go ahead and create this Claude desktop.config. So what we'll do is we'll do this from scratch, and I'll show you what you need to add to that file. So first things first, you can go into the file system MCP that we were just in just a moment ago. You can go and copy this code here, and then we'll jump over to Cursor and paste this in and make some edit. So this is the JSON file that I've uploaded into Cursor here. So I've just pasted that in, and now we can go ahead and edit this. So you need to take your username and change that, so mine to Mark Mars, and you can also add multiple locations. So I'm going to add my desktop in there, but previously I also, before I recording this video, I was testing it in like a local location, so or a specific location on some documents that I just wanted to give Claude access to. So you can keep going ahead and adding in different locations there for different places that you want to give access to Claude. But right now it's going to be the desktop folder and this Claude docs folder. So I'll go ahead and save that, and then we'll open up Claude desktop and see what that gives us. Okay, so now here I am in Claude. If I hover over here, you can see it's got this little hammer here, or mallet, with the MCP tools that are available. So this is all the instructions that I can give to Claude on my file system. So this is from server file system. This is the file system MCP that we've created. So I can create directories, I can get info, I can list directories, I can move files, I can read files, I can search files, read multiple files, write files. So there's a whole bunch you can do there. So what we're going to do, as I say, is we've got the desktop, which is a big mess at the moment, but we're going to go and tidy that up. So what I'm going to say is, okay, so here's what I've gone for. Please sort files in the desktop folder into folders. Anything that is already in a folder, you can leave it where it is. I want you to create the following folders. 1. Screenshots, 2. Images, 3. Presentations, 4. HTML, and 5. PDFs. Please put any files that include screenshot in the file name let's put one word there, file name, into the screenshots folder. Put all remaining images into the images folder. Put PowerPoint presentations into the presentations folder. HTML files into the HTML folder, and PDFs into the PDF folder. So what I'm going to do before I run this is I'm going to open up a Finder window so we can hopefully look at this happening live and as the task is running. In fact, I'm going to leave both windows open because you need to give permissions for Claude to access different parts of the file system. That's good. It's a security thing, so stop people accessing your file system with their own MCP servers. So it's a good thing that we need to do that. It's a bit of a pain right now, and I'm sure there'll be a better way around it at some point. But I'll show that so that you can see what you need to do there, and that happens still. So I'll put both windows side by side, and we'll take a look at both of them at the same time. Okay, so on the left-hand side here, we've got Claude, the desktop, and we're going with our instruction. On the right-hand side here, we've got a Finder window with all of my desktop in there. So you can see I've already got loads of folders, but also got a whole bunch of files that need sorting into folders as well. So let's see how many we've actually got here. We've got 71 files that need to be moved into folders, if I sort them by the kind, you can see we've got the PNGs, we've got the PowerPoint presentations, we've got PDFs, we've got a PHP script there. Oh, I should really actually add a catch-all as well, like an other folder, so I'll do that as well, because it's got a log file in here. So I'll say, so let's create another folder, which is other files, and then put all other files into the other files folder. So I haven't tried this. I did try it in a very small scale, but I haven't tried it at this level. So we'll see what happens. So let me just press enter on this, and we'll get going. Hopefully we can see these files disappearing into their own individual folders. So let's see. Okay. So here you go. I mentioned that we've got to improve. So there'll be a bunch of these that come up. So run a list allowed directories from file system. So we're just going to have to approve a whole number of things here, but it shows you what it's doing. So let me just approve this one as well. Let's see what files are available. Let's just allow this one as well. Then create the necessary folders. Finally, move files into. Okay, so over here we can see things are moving. It's happening. So things moving over here. So is it creating? So it's created an images folder. It's created an HTML folder. Other folders to be asked for. PDFs, other files. We've got another other files folder there. Okay, so run the move file. So it wants to be able to move files. So we're going to allow that. Okay, so things are disappearing here. So it looks like something maybe went into screenshots there. Yeah, so look, it's picked up the first one and put that into screenshots. Looks like they're slowly disappearing away. But as you can see, like, I mean, you've got to approve that, but only for this chat. So once we've given it permission to do that one action, he's not going to have to ask for it every single time. So if you were running a chat for a long period of time, so imagine you had the Spotify MCP, you've only got to ask it. It's only going to have to get permissions at a certain time. In fact, for that MCP, there probably won't even be any permissions that need to be asked. But if you're working for a period of time in one chat, then you're not going to have to approve it all the time. It just is what it is right now. Okay, so as it got stuck here, I've completed organizing your desktop files. Here's a summary of what I did. Created 6 new folders, moved all screenshot files with screenshot in the name to the screenshots folder. Well, it has not. So let's see, let's just look in screenshots again. It's only put one in there. Other files, he's put, it's only put one file in each, so maybe that's a problem here. So what else do we have? PDFs, right? It's only put one in each. Let's try presentations as well. Yeah, so it's only done one in each. So let's just say that you've only moved one of each file type into the folders. Please can you do the same for the remaining files on the desktop? Remaining. Let's just put that wrong. Okay. See. You're absolutely right. I apologize for not completing the full task. Let me continue. Moving remaining screenshots. So hopefully we should start seeing these disappear. There you go. There's at least one that's gone. Let's do. So let's see. I think it's doing. It's got presentations. We've got 3 in there now. Let's go to screenshots. So we've got quite a lot of those. Oops, there's presentations again. Screenshots. So we've got 4 in there now, so it looks like it's doing it. It's going to take a little while though, because it's doing it all one by one. So what I'll do is, it looks like it got stuck there halfway. So there's a little message that came out. So let's just carry on again. And I'll pause the video and whilst it's doing the rest, because it's going to take a little while, and we can see how it ends up. Yeah, so we're still having some issues with this, so it's not completing the task. So it said, I noticed there's an error with the HTML file due to special characters. Let me move the remaining files. Moving remaining miscellaneous files to other files. So it's not completing the job. There's still a bunch of files in here that need to be, there's some hidden files which you can get rid of because you probably won't do those. But there's a bunch of files still that haven't been done. So instead, would you like me to continue moving these remaining files? Also, I noticed there was an error with some of the files that have special characters. Would you like me to try moving the files with modified names? So I can say yes, please continue. Any files that have special characters, just remove the special characters from the file name and continue. Before finishing, check the state of the desktop again to make sure you've completed the task, and if not, continue until you have. Because what I noticed was when you ran it again, because you said you hadn't completed it, it'd say, oh, let me just check the state of the desktop again. Oh yeah, I haven't finished, let me carry on. So if I can get it to sort of loop round checking before it finishes, then hopefully that'll get around that problem. So I'll pause the video again and we'll see how far it gets this time. Okay, so it's finished again, or it stopped again. It said, let me do one final check on the desktop, because that's what it asked it to do. Oh, I see there's still files to move. Let me continue. More screenshots to move into the screenshots folder, blah, blah, blah. It's also said there's some system files on there, which is the ones that were hidden, which typically should stay in place. So we don't need to move those. So let's say, yes, keep system files in place. Please continue moving rest of the files. When checking at the end to see if the task is complete, no input. Please just continue if the task is not complete. So I don't know if this is because it's the desktop and the desktop's a bit of something that needs a little bit more permissions, but the folder that I was using before, I didn't have such a problem. It just moved all the files straight away. The desktop maybe is a bit more picky about. Saying that, I only tried it with like 10 files, but they moved all of those straight into the individual folders, and it seemed to work like pretty quickly. But I thought I'd give it this bigger task of the desktop, not least because it would be nice to have that all tidied up anyway. I mean, it's quicker to do it yourself, to be honest. At this point, I could just drag a load of stuff I want to delete into the bin and things like that. But this is a good example. I think it's definitely reducing the number of files here. I wonder if he gets upset if I actually go into here, because a few times I've got into here to have a look and then it stopped, and I wonder if that's... Nope, doesn't seem to. So I'll pause it again and we'll come back to this. Okay, so that latest prompt worked because it said, let me check the final state. Oh, there's still more to move, so I'll continue moving. So it actually is, let's check the final state again. Still more files to move, continuing. So it's continuing. So actually that prompt worked. So I don't know why it sort of gets to a point where it thinks it's done and then has to check. Maybe it just seems like once it's moved one, it feels like it's done and it doesn't need to check. So it's like a final check of the desktop. It's doing that every time. And then it goes, oh, there's still more to move. But that prompt seems to have just meant that it now continues to do it, and hopefully I'll get to the end before stopping again. So I'll pause again. Looks like we're almost there, and hopefully we'll see it finished. So I spoke too soon. It still thinks it's finished. It says the task is now complete. What remains on the desktops are system files, configuration files, temporary files, all original folders and directories, one problematic HTML file that we couldn't move due to special characters. All the other files have been organized. Would you like me to try one more time to move the HTML file with a simplified name, or would you prefer to leave it as it is? So if you look here, you can still see there is this problematic HTML file, but there's these other files here that still have not been moved. So I'm going to ask it again to remove those. I'm going to be persistent, and I'll also get it to remove the HTML file with a simplified name. So yes, please move the HTML file with a simplified name. Also, you've not completed the task. If the task as more files remain, please complete for all files and check yourself that it's complete before finishing. Right, we'll try again with that, I think. So let's take a look at what the file name could be. So at the moment we just got this one, YouTube and Meeting 2. So let's see what it renames this one as, which has got a very long file name. It's got a handshake in it, so that's part of the problem. So let's see. I'll pause again for now. Okay, so we're nearly there. It's actually moved all the screenshot files now, so it thinks it's done it all again, and it's left the system files, which is fine. And it's still having problems with this HTML file, but if we look over here, there's still a .log and a .php file it hasn't finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this file for it. So let's just call it Together We're United .html. Let's get rid of these other characters as well, so it's not. So let's try that, and hopefully it should be able to do that now. And then I'll ask it to move these files as well. So I'll put I've renamed the HTML file. Please try again. Also, you've still not moved two other files, the .log file and think we'll just wait for these ones. Hopefully that'll work. So it's not gone as smooth as I'd hoped. When I did a test, it was super smooth, but you can see there's still issues here. So those other files have gone. Actually do this one. Yeah, see the remote. There you go. It's actually moved it now. So it's moved. Together we're united. There you go. And it should be in other files. That PHP file, I think, and was it .log? I can't even remember now what it was. What was it? Log file and a PHP file. So I think those have been moved now as well. The HTML files are in here. That worked. And let's take a look at those screenshots because there was a whole bunch of those in there. That's in there. And PDFs are in here. That was it, wasn't it? Oh, and presentations. Hopefully that's been moved okay as well. There you go. And there's some PowerPoint presentations. So it worked, but it wasn't without pain. But you can see some of the opportunity there. So you can get large language module or the AI to actually do some interesting things with on your computer and actually speed a few things up. In this case, absolutely not speeding things up. And of course, as I say, it's still early phases for this MCP technology, but that gives you an idea of how it works. But also, let's go and add in the internet functionality. So now we can use Claude to search the internet to give us better results. Okay, so here I am back in Cursor. We're just editing the Claude desktop config.json again. So we need to go and add in the Brave Search MCP server here. So we're going to just go and paste this code in here. Again, you can get that from the website, and this is actually pretty much correct, but we need to go and get a Brave API key now. So the way you can do that, you can go over to here, and you need to go to api.search.brave.com/register, where you can register for a Brave account if you haven't got one already. If you can go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, you get the dashboard here, but you need to go down to the API keys here. So click this button up here, you give it a name. There is a free subscription that you can use. That is paid once you've used a certain allowance, but the free subscription is plenty enough for what you need to get started. You've got 1 request per second and 2,000 requests per month with that. So if I go over to the subscriptions here, you can see this is the one that I've got, but you can then go ahead and pay for more if you want it and need it. So I'm going to go and take our API key that I've already created into here. I'll copy that and I'll go and put it into our cursor file, or into our JSON file, should I say. Okay, so I'm just going to paste it in here and then save this file, and then I need to restart the Claude desktop app, because every time you add a new server, you've got to restart the app so that it picks it up. So I'm going to paste this in. I'm not going to show you what it is. Click save, and then we'll go back to Claude desktop. Okay, here we are back in Claude desktop. As you can see now, we've got 11 tools rather than 9, which we had before. So the two extra tools are Brave Local Search and Brave Web Search. So we can local search means literally searches within the local area regarding businesses, restaurants, all those things, and then just like a regular search here. So we're going to search for is something about Bitcoin, because today it's big news if you're into Bitcoin, into your cryptocurrency. Bitcoin hit $100,000 for the first time today. So let's ask Claude about that. So Bitcoin hit $100,000 today. Please, can you provide any news headlines relating to this? No, Mark. Start with that. But now this would have been a problem in the past, right? Because Claude couldn't use the internet, so it wouldn't have been able to do it. So here you go, it's asking to use Brave Search, which is fine. It tells you what it's going to do. It's looking for 5 results. Bitcoin hits, that's gone missing, but yeah, we can see in here. Bitcoin hits 100k price, news March 24, March 2024. Based on the search result, I confirm Bitcoin has hit 100,000. That's interesting. I wonder why I've added March 24 now. Anyway, it said, based on the search results, I can confirm that Bitcoin has indeed hit $100,000 today. Here are the headlines detailing. So Reuters reports that Bitcoin hits higher records above 100,000. Cointelegraph reports the price of Bitcoin has reached 100,000 for the first time in history. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's say, please search the internet for price targets for Bitcoin and list the source. Find as many as you can up to 10. Let's see. That's interesting. There's added a particular name on there. Okay, so it's found 5. Kathy Wood from Ark Invest, 1.5 million by 2030, updated to 3.8 million by 2030, most recent prediction. 200,000 by 2025, 120 by Standard Charter. Bernstein, 200,000 by the end of 2025, upgraded from 150. JP Morgan, targets around 45,000. And Investing Haven, ranging. That's interesting. So it doesn't particularly up to date or anything like that. But as you can see, it's searching the web now for to give answers, because it wouldn't have been able to give these answers because it would have been just too late. Particularly this one. This one, it might have found some data depending on how old the data was. So now you can use the internet for searches within Claude, similar to how you've been able to do with ChatGPT for a little while now. So let me think, is there anything else that I can try? Yeah, there's something else that I tried the other day, which worked quite well. So please provide me with the latest crypto news in the last, let's say, 48 hours, and split and break down the news by each asset. Okay, let's give that a go. Okay, so here you go, it's broken it down by each individual asset here. So we've got Bitcoin, historic milestone, which we've just mentioned. Trading volume has increased substantially with this milestone. Ethereum, recent focus on being on the spot ETF developments. So yeah, so what we can say here actually is they ask for more information. So let's see Solana, currently trading in line with broader market momentum. Okay, price predictions for 2024 suggests between 223 and 256. Experienced some network stability issues since 2024. That's not, yeah, I think the last one was in February, so that's quite a while ago now. SEC continues to evaluate various crypto ETF applications. Top performing assets in the last 48 hours: Bitcoin, Ethereum following Bitcoin's momentum, Solana benefiting from overall market strength. So would you like me to dive deeper into particular assets, recent developments, look for more specific price action details, search for additional news about smaller altcoins? That's pretty good. Yeah, let's say yes, more deeper news on BTC, please. Okay, so we've got price milestone on market activity, which is good, providing more detail there. Institutional activity, approximately 3% of total supply is from institutional investors in 2024 alone. Okay, so it's broken it down pretty well there. Upcoming catalysts, the Bitcoin halving expected in April 2024. So that's not upcoming, roughly 4 months away. So yeah, not perfect for sure here. Okay, so I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for tuning in and listening. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the video. And also, if you're interested, we also have an AI automation and AI technology community. Check that out in the description if that's something that interests you. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.